Hi, welcome to the Blue Cobra for Monday, September 8th, 2008. Let's talk politics. I don't know whether to cry or go on a violent rampage today. Yeah, McCain has caught Obama in the polls. Never thought that would happen. Hell, according to USA Today / Gallup polling, he's pulled 10 points ahead. 10 points. Like it or not, I don't like it. That's a lot. And it was fast. Thankfully, we expected this. Obama got a similar bounce coming out of his convention. But it's still not pleasant, I'm sure you'll agree. A lot to talk about today. First off, I want to address Sarah Palin's first gaffe in this campaign, one that the McCain camp is still stubbornly ignoring. And that gaffe is her claim that she opposed the bridge to nowhere. Okay, yeah, she opposed it after it became unpopular. Before that, she was for the thing. She said, and I quote, that she would let the so-called spinmeisters turn it into something negative. What's a spinmeister? Tell me, somebody, leave a comment if you can, and tell me what a spinmeister is, because I never heard that term. This lady has some very creative language, like George W., which I'm sure will appeal to those small-town, small-brain hillbillies who live down south. But anyway, she said that. She supported this bridge to nowhere adamantly. Adamantly, let me make that clear. And now she's basing her claims of independence, of maverickness, largely on this feat. That is BS. BS. Seriously. It's not fair that she's getting away with this. She's not a maverick, neither is John McCain, and they have to stop generating ads that claim that, which they just did again. They're making a habit of this. Now let me return to the subject of polling real quick. I want to make a point that I think needs making. First of all, I would not trust these polls if I was you. And yes, I know I come across sounding paranoid and a little bitter that these new polls show my guy behind the old white man. But at risk of sounding paranoid, I want to make this case. Because you know how they work these things, right? These polls? They call random landline phones. Sometimes they more specifically call a certain area, but it's usually randomized. And they ask whoever picks up who they're voting for. And the key to this is landlines. Landlines. Do you realize how many Americans use a cell phone as their primary phone? I'm sure you know it's a whole lot. And definitely most people at or under the age of 30 fall into that category. And that group, right there, the under 30 voters, is a large part of Obama's voter base. And they're not getting polled. So I think what we're seeing are the numbers that we're seeing are below the actual support he's getting. And I'll predict right here that he's at least 10 points higher among the electorate than the polls allow. Anyway, MSNBC is undergoing a major shakeup, I'm sure you've heard. It's apparently been brewing for some time. There's been some tension between NBC and MSNBC about a perceived bias on the latter network. It's apparent, and I can't say I agree with this decision. I can't say I disagree with this decision, even if it dismayed me when I heard it this morning. See, what happened is, they've removed Keith Olbermann and Chris Matthews from the anchor positions during these political events. And you know what the anchor position is, of course. They have that desk, and the two guys are sitting there. They report the news, and then they ask others for commentary. So they've been removed from that post. Don't panic. They still have their own shows, Hardball and Countdown, and Olbermann's Countdown remains the most popular on the entire network. But they can no longer sit at that spiffy desk during conventions and the like and report on what's going on because of that perceived bias. Now, I know that bias is present in Olbermann. I think he makes a point of that. But I wasn't explicitly aware of bias on Chris's part. I guess I'll look into that. Anyway, they'll still be there to give commentary, but they'll no longer be the major players. Really quickly, before I forget, I want to just comment on the 1,000 plus views the last video received. You have no idea how that made me feel. I almost fainted when I saw that. Seriously, I almost fainted. Because the first two videos only got like 40 or 50 views. And here all of a sudden, 1,300 something views. So I don't know how that happened. It might have been put on the most viewed news and politics page or something for a day. Whatever happened, I'm grateful. And I look forward to continuing to share this political discourse with you. Palin and her staff may be facing subpoenas soon, into Troopergate, and I want all of you to please remember the word Troopergate, because that is our biggest ace in the hole against this extremist conservative woman who is now running for vice president of our country. It's that whole thing where she might have abused her power to fire that state trooper. And the investigation is making a fair amount of progress. In fact, it's going to be out 3 weeks earlier than we thought. And like I said in my last episode, the investigators have said the information might be damaging to her career. Let's hope. Let's hope it is damaging to her career. Let's hope it's damaging to the McCain-Palin ticket. Dick Cheney. This is big. This is big news. Dick Cheney endorsed Sarah Palin. Oh yeah. I'm sure if your mind wasn't made up before, now it's definitely made up. And by that I hope that means you definitely hate her now. He gave her the nod. Well, that's all for today. It's a shorter episode than usual, I realize. But I don't want to overdo it. Not much news today. And we have all week. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and God bless America. And please leave comments. Thanks.